What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2024 Honda Civic Type-R. This one's finished in championship white. MSRP was $46,500. Now this is my Honda Civic Type-R. I just traded in my Mark 5 manual transmission Toyota Supra for this. Do you think trading in the Supra for a Type-R was a wise decision? Comment down below, and if you missed the video on why I did this, take a look at that video. But let's go ahead and see what the newest Type-R has to offer. This is a pretty cool hot hatch for sure. I think it's the best hot hatch out there, honestly. For 45 grand roughly, I feel like you can't really get much better. The hood doesn't weigh much. You have a functional heat extraction vent, which is a really cool touch to see. And then underneath the hood, you're gonna find the 2-liter inline 4-cylinder. It's a turbocharged motor with 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, only paired to the 6-speed manual transmission and front-wheel drive with a limited slip differential. As far as some performance info, you can expect 0 to 60 at 5.3 seconds, topping out at 170 miles per hour. Quarter mile time is 13.9 seconds at 104, and this can still get 22 miles per gallon in the city and 28 out on the highway, running on a 12.4 gallon fuel tank. Taking a look at the styling, I think this is great looking. It's got a nice wide body appearance. I really like the black accents throughout the car. Got a nice set of LED headlights, all blacked out, flowing into this upper grille super nicely. You can see that red Honda badge, nice openings for mesh, Type-R badge over on the right side, and then really good contours throughout all the bodywork. Down below, you got some nice gloss black trim, and then I love this massive front splitter with a huge opening to provide cooling to that intercooler. You can also see how that bumper flows into the fenders to give it more of a wide body appearance. So I think they nailed this design perfectly. I think it's a lot more grown up and mature than the previous generation. That hood scoop up there looks nice with some sharp body lines throughout it. And then at the side, you got a nice set of 19-inch wheels. And then you're gonna see 265 wide tires in all 4 corners. You got a nice vent right here to allow some pressurized airflow, and then you can see a pretty aggressive side skirt. Got some more of that gloss black in the back, body colored on the door handles, black on the mirror, and then all black surrounding the windows. Now this car is based off of Honda's hatchback Civic. So you got a nice sloping rear end, pretty good proportions. I like how this window comes to a point as well. And then you have a massive rear wing. Fits the body really nicely, and it is very functional. Got a nice design for the LED taillights with a cool connection bar. Red design for the Honda badge once again, and your Type-R logo. In back, you got some trim and a reflector, and then a really large rear diffuser finished in black. I love the fins on it, and the super unique triple exhaust pipe. So I think this car comes together really well. It's a pretty cool design, much more up to date than the previous one, and I think they really did nail it on the head as far as a hot hatch goes. You have a button back here. We can manually lift open the hatchback, and you have a ton of space. You can fit some bicycles in here, golf bags, genuinely anything you need. So it's a super practical car as well. Underneath the floor mat, you will have a tire inflator kit as well as the tow hook and things like that. I love the Type-R badge on it. We have a removable cover as well, which is a pretty cool touch. Popping that back in place, we can slide this and it'll lock into place. Now from here, we got some grab handles up above as well. Very easily close it. Taking a look at the interior, these seats do fold down nice and flat, giving you plenty of space into the cargo, and really easy. You can just pop them back up. Got that manual latch up above. This car is a 4-seater, so you have 2 seats back here. No armrest or anything in the center, but you have 2 cup holders, and that's basically the only amenities. You're gonna see on the door panel just some plastic material, this black micro suede with red stitching, more red stitching throughout, and I like the red carpeting as well as all the seat belts. Taking a look inside the back at 5'11", sitting behind my driver's seat. I love the Type-R, nice cutouts as well. Plenty of legroom and footroom, really good headroom in here. And honestly, this is a pretty decent family car. While there's no air vents, which is probably the biggest downfall, honestly, it's pretty roomy and comfortable. I don't think you'll have an issue putting people or kids back here. It's a pretty decent family car, honestly. Now, as we make our way to the driver's seat, you have the smart key, so you can lock and unlock it from the door handle. And then these seats are amazing. You have this really cool red micro suede, huge bucket seats. On the door panel, you got a little bit of ambient lighting, soft touch material, and then the micro suede, of course, all your basic controls. The seats are manual. You can see the sport pedals and then the perforations throughout the center. Has a really unique design for these leg supports, perforations all throughout it, and then Type-R is up above on the headrest as well. Got a nice leather wrapped steering wheel, And then if we hop inside, seats are a little challenging to get in and out of, but for me, they are so worth it. And then inside, got a nice animation as well as some audio. Let's fire it up. Everything will turn on now. And then on the steering wheel, we have some Bluetooth and audio controls on the left side. Cruise control is all on the right, and then you have 2 roller wheels to scroll through the gauges. So on the left side, you can see a few things that you're going to be able to take a look at. And then on the right side, you have trip information and then some fun sporty designs as well. And then if we play with our drive mode select down here, we can go into your 3 modes. You have a sport, comfort, and individual. Now when you go into individual, you can actually adjust quite a lot throughout this car. This has the adaptive suspension, steering, the sounds will adjust, the rev matching. So quite a lot of really good performance technology in this car. So Honda really did put true performance in it. Now your R mode icon gives you a super cool display. You got a massive tach all throughout it, and you're still able to scroll up and down on the left and right side. So really cool displays throughout it. And then in any of the modes, you actually have that nice rev counter up above, as you can see with those LED lights. Got the stalk on the right for windshield wipers, turn signals on the left. We have a safety sensor icon over here. That'll turn those on, you can make those adjustments. Traction control, one of your air vents. And then there's a soft touch plastic throughout the dash. So nice look and feel. You got a cool badge over here for Type-R, and then this nice mesh throughout it. And then I love this screen right here. You can configure it to see all sorts of different performance information for this car. You also have your typical Honda screen stuff. When you hit home, everything pops up as expected. You have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So all your normal tiles as you'd expect, the back button, shortcuts down below. And then in reverse, you got a nice backup camera. Pretty decent graphics as well with a few different configurable views. And then underneath all that, you're gonna see physical climate controls, nicely laid out, dual zone temperature, your different zones and everything. Extra plugs as well as wireless charging. Those drive mode selects along with your brake hold and parking brake. Nice silver trim throughout it. And then I love this aluminum shift knob with the leather shift boot. Extra storage down below and a nice padded armrest. Just a tad bit of storage right here and a decent glove box. One last look at the interior. It's nicely up to date. I think it's a really grown-up feeling Civic Type-R. I think the last gen was a little too tacky for my taste. Still a great car to drive, but I think this is just a lot cleaner looking inside and out. Up above, just a basic black headliner, normal sun visors, dome lights, and then a basic thin mirror. All right, so setting off now. So in the R mode, this car really tightens up. The suspension is super stiff, the steering is super stiff, the rev lights, the gauge cluster. This thing is pretty exciting when it's in the crazy full R mode. The shifter is a joy to go through the gears. It's really direct, super notchy. Honestly, the handling in this car is really good too. The steering is ultra precise. Really don't have any crazy shortcomings. If we go into comfort mode, you can tell the car tones down the suspension's a little more forgiving. Steering is a lot more lazy as well. So I like how, you wouldn't expect a Honda Civic to have these types of drive modes that are in much more expensive cars. And yet, here we are in this Type-R. It's able to do quite a lot that a lot more expensive cars have. So I wasn't really expecting all that fun factor. Turning circle is pretty decent. For front wheel drive, you would think it'd be a tad better, but nonetheless, you can pretty much make any turn. But not bad for like normal driving too. So it's a very usable car, has a lot going for it to be a daily driver. And obviously this car is probably most people's daily driver. So it feels like it has those characteristics. Not a bad engine sound to it. Clutch is also super light as well. So it's generally an easy car to just live with on the day-to-day. These seats for me are ultra comfortable. I fit so well in them. I literally just fit like a glove. Good view out of the car, being a hatchback. I mean, you have so much visibility in this car. I mean, it's super, super livable. So I really like the characteristics I'm already finding with this car. If we go right back into the R mode, you can instantly tell that suspension is much stiffer now, and the car just kind of tightens up and is ready to be thrown around. Now, given this has front-wheel drive but a limited slip differential, this is the one car that is front-wheel drive that I actually can't hardly tell it's front-wheel drive. Now, in the normal drive mode, you can feel some torque steer, you can feel a little bit of that, but once you're in the R mode, you really kind of forget that this is just front-wheel drive. It kind of does such a good job managing the torque and managing all the power. It's a fun car. Road noise, there's not really much highway noise or wind noise or things like that. So it does a really good job being somewhat of a upscale car. It's certainly not crazy high end, but it doesn't feel like a cheap car at all. You can tell there's the fake engine sounds when you're in the R mode, which sounds good, but obviously it's a little on the fake side. This thing rockets. This is actually really quick. Handling is phenomenal. Wow, it is so flat. Man, this honestly, I want to do some mountain trips and autocrosses with this. This car just tackles turns so incredibly well. And it's quick enough to where it pulls. It's not a slow car, but it's not that crazy that we're going to be hitting 100. But you are able to rip it in this car. This thing is pretty darn quick. So far, I'm really enjoying driving in this car. I don't really have any driver complaints as of right now. But man, if you are looking for something fun, a little above and beyond the typical hot hatch, I think the Civic Type-R, especially this new generation, has quite a lot to offer. I like how it's also simple for the technology. Really nothing hard about learning how to drive this car. It's super simple. Manual is forgiving too if you are a newbie at driving a stick shift transmission, and even if you're experienced, this thing is a joy. Like, so much fun to go through the gears. You can turn the rev matching on or off. Well done, Honda. For front wheel drive and a 4-cylinder, I think this is almost as good as it could possibly get right out of the gate. It just has a lot going for it. It truly feels like a super solid, really put together car.